I thought I was gonna start filming right now. I set it up and everything, but the second my eyes hit the reverse camera where I can see myself, and I see that this shirt just looks like I slept in it, because I did. My hair is like the greasiest thing in the world right now. I'll be back. Okay, now I'm clean, but my hair is still very much wet, and my face is very much itchy and dry, because that's what happens when I shower, so I'm gonna have to wait a bit longer. Let's try this again. That's better. What the fuck is up, everybody? So today, I thought I'd be continuing what my very first video was about back in like December. There we go. But I thought your first video was about you getting robbed. What does this have to do with anything about what video like that? I don't remember uploading that and then deleting it about a month later because I didn't like some of the things I said in it. What? It's weird. But yeah, I'd like to talk about more stories about the place I used to work at, the movie theater. What's that movie theater called again? So in that video I talked about some of the rude customers I had while I was there. And today I'd like to talk about some of the fuck faces I worked with. Now, I haven't worked there since, like, last summer, so when I walk into the place now, there's so many new hires that, like, who are you people? But who cares about them, because we're talking about the bitches that were there when I was. The first person I'd like to talk to is a manager I had, who doesn't work at that specific one anymore, that specific movie theater. He now works at a different one, so I feel like I won't have to face him again. I hope not. Our nickname for him was Squidward, because he was a fuckface and just was negative towards everyone and everything. This one particular shift, I wanted to go take my break, and I was at the concession stand working with one other person. It was just us two for the night, and it wasn't supposed to be a very busy night, so that was fine. But you still like to have two people behind there so you can have like someone doing, you know, hot food while the other person rings them up. It's a lot faster and easier that way, so two is better than one. But this specific asshole loves to cut people's hours because he thinks it's saving the company money. This multi-billion-dollar fucking #1 in the nation movie company is saving dollars. If we cut people's shifts and screw them out of a paycheck, we're sure saving some bucks. And I wanted to go take a break, specifically my half-hour break, because I was entitled to that, as I was under 18 and I had to take one. And so I went to go take one and go sit in a movie theater and watch it for a bit on my break like I normally do. And as I go to like clock out, he stops me and he's like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm just going on my break." "No, you're not. I decided to cut you. You can leave now. We don't need you anymore." "Actually, I want to stay, so I'm gonna go on break and then I'm gonna come back because I really didn't get any hours this week besides this shift." "I don't care. I've already made decisions. You're cut." Actually, I know for a fact that I can refuse to be cut. If I want to stay, it's my choice, not yours, to cut me. You can ask me if I want to leave, but you do not have the right to cut me. You can clock out and go on your break, but you won't be able to get back in. Once again, I know for a fact you can't do that. You have to ask me first. So I am going on my break, and I'll be back. To which he had no reply. And I know what you're thinking, that was aggressive. It was. I'm an aggressive person. This isn't news. So I chose to go on my break during a slow point in time because I'm a real thinker. I care about other people, especially my coworkers. Yeah. So I go and I come back and it's starting to get a little bit busy, so I go to clock on to go help him behind the stand. And I'm not able to clock on. So I turn to the manager that's still there, the same one from before, Squidward, and I say, "Why can't I clock in?" "Because I cut you. Go home." "But you can't cut me without asking me. I know there's more managers than just you that work here, and I've asked them." "Yeah, well, I'm not them, so you can go home now. Bye. Go home. Bye. Bye." And like literally trying to like get me to go out the door. And he's a lazy fuck, so he wasn't gonna get off his ass to try to shoo me out, but like he was verbally shooing me out, and he was gonna have to get physical to get me out of this fucking room. So we go back and forth arguing pretty much like the last conversation for about a solid 10 minutes. It's getting busy for the one person behind the counter who's obviously concerned as to why I'm not back yet. Like, even if I had tons of shifts and I could afford to be cut, and it didn't matter what I got in my paycheck, you know? He was still completely swamped at the counter, and to do something as petty as cut someone who you don't like because we never got along, just to fucking spite me and hurt yourself and your staff in the process, it's a really fucked up thing for someone who's supposed to be running the fucking shifts to do. Eventually, he just kind of told me that he can't undo cutting me even if he wanted to, and that I was literally just gonna have to leave because you're not allowed to work when you're off the clock. So I had to leave with a very small paycheck that week, being very angry and having my coworkers suffer for the rest of the night because it ended up getting busier because we didn't expect the horror movie rush at the end of the night that came and fucked them up. Karma is real and it's prevalent. But whatever, even before I left, the fuckface left, so I didn't have to deal with him for more than like another less than a year probably after that. So, bye. The second person I like to talk about is a regular employee, not a manager, just like me, who fucking gets on my nerves. And he still works there. Great. Can't wait to go back to him. He's worked there for so fucking long, and my very first impression should have told me this guy was just an asshole from the beginning. Because my first impression of him was at my very first employee meeting that happened like a week after I got hired. And I didn't know that you could wear something other than your uniform to these meetings. So I came in my uniform, and I was like one of the only ones who wasn't working in uniform, and I was ridiculous. But I wasn't the most ridiculous one there. No. This asshole came dressed as Jack fucking Sparrow. Like full cosplay. Like he was trying to be Jack Sparrow at an employee meeting. And if the theme was to dress up, I could understand it, but he was the only one like that. Like everyone else was in normal clothes, and then it's Jack fucking Sparrow. Part of me respected him for putting himself out there like that. Part of me knew he was an asshole. When we're not working together, this person's actually kind of nice. Like, I don't want to shit on them that much because they are, like, not a complete gutter trash person that they are when I work with them. But when we are working together, specifically behind the concession stand, my favorite place ever, he gets a little rushed. No matter how many customers there are, no matter how many fucking people want food, he's in a rush. And the way he communicates trying to get around the concession stand while rushing to get stuff for people is by not fucking communicating. Not with his words. No. He decides to use his hands to communicate with people, which includes shoving people into the counter or into the fucking machine they're working on to get by. No sorries, no excuse me's, just shove. And I can handle that for a couple shifts, but when you work with someone like this for years at a time, it starts to get on your nerves. And before I knew it, I was getting like digs in while we were working. Like every time he would shove me, I would kind of make a remark like, I love being shoved into the counter. I don't know where the fire is, but you apparently do. And then just outright flat in your face comments like, maybe not try and shove me when you're getting by next time, thanks. I've even tried to be understanding and just be a softer version of myself. I understand you want to get stuff for the people as quickly as possible, but you can use your words. You don't have to physically shove people out of the way. You can say, coming through, and we'll move. But I don't need you to shove me into the counter. Can you please not do that anymore? And every single fucking time, he would pretend like he understood. Like, yeah, like of course I'll do that. Or, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that I was doing that. But he fucking kept doing it. And when he wasn't shoving me into a counter, he was reading, like, communist manifestos. Just to do, I don't know, talking about Bernie Sanders and how much he supports him, and just going on about all of these fucking ideals of his, pretending like he's the most special snowflake in the world that ever fucking lived. Just everything. And it got so tiring after about 5 minutes of him speaking, because I just really couldn't care less about anything he ever said, even if I agreed with him, because he's such a little bitch. hate this person. And even when I fucking visited AMC, since I've been gone, like, this is an instance of him being a nice person, but me still hating him. Like, he complimented the shirt I was wearing, but it's my least favorite shirt I own. Like, this person is just not for me. Well, this does it for this round of stories from my work. I have many, many more, because there are so many terrible people that I work with and that I help. So there'll be more in the future. This week's shout out goes to my dog Molly, because she's still alive. I hope to see you guys next week. See ya. They say if you constantly smile, you'll be happy. And I want to believe it. I really do. But it just isn't working for me.